Good morning. It's Sunday the 25th of May 2025 and this part of Weston-super-Mare is called Uphill. I'm actually in Uphill village. Uphill's cannon. Here, between the two world wars, stood a Germany Minenwerfer, literally mine thrower, cannon. A great plaything for the children of the village until it was removed in 1940, but a reminder for many of the horrors of World War I and the suffering endured by so many from the village who served their country between 1914 and 1918. Yeah, so Uphill's another pretty part of Weston-super-Mare. Really nice. Okay, well I'm just going to walk through Uphill village for a bit and then I'm going to walk along where I used to live when I lived in Weston. Uphill village was always one of my favourite parts of Weston, really. Yeah. A few times when I was living in Weston I did drink in the two pubs here, the Ship Inn and the Dolphin Inn. Lovely pubs at the time. Don't know what they're like now, but I am talking like 25 to 30 years ago now. But yeah, it's still a nice little village. Anyway, it's a bit blustery this morning. Better be a bit careful that my wig doesn't blow off. So anyway, we'll see how we go. I think hopefully today's walk's not going to be too strenuous, apart from one little bit. St Nicholas's Church of England was built by the Victorians to replace the little Norman church of the same name on the hill, which I will be visiting later. I arrived here at the same time as two friendly ladies who opened the church doors and allowed me to go inside. Wow, I timed that really well, so I managed to get inside the church. Very kindly let in by these lovely ladies, so yeah, they're having a service today, so it is Sunday after all. But yeah, I timed that really well. So I'm just going to walk around very quickly and then I'll get on with the walk. Well, that was really lovely. Yeah, I couldn't have timed that better, as I said already. Yeah, literally as I was just about to move away, and then the two ladies drove in their car and they sort of parked around the back of the church. So one of them said to me, would you like to come inside the church? So that was brilliant timing. So yeah, had a nice chat with them for a while, told them what I was doing, and then another lady turned up, talked to her for a bit as well. So a very welcoming bunch of people. So there were more and more people turning up as I was talking. But yeah, I managed to get some pictures inside the church, and that was really nice. A real bonus. So yeah, it was lovely to meet the ladies inside St Nicholas's Church. So I'm leaving Uphill village now. I'm just on the main road for a bit. As I walk up here, I'll turn off and I'll be walking along the street where I used to live. So it was here on Moorland Road I lived when I lived in Weston. Had a really nice flat along here. Yeah, the landlord actually lived in the property too, but he lived downstairs and I lived upstairs. He never bothered me at all, so it wasn't a case of him popping upstairs to knock on my door all the time to keep disturbing me, and never happened like that. He was lovely. He was a really nice landlord, lovely bloke. And I remember at the time, he said to me that it was nice having me living upstairs because he felt more secure because he was on his own and he just liked having somebody living upstairs, really. But yeah, it was a nice flat. It's like 10-15 minute walk into the town from here and 2 minutes walk to the seafront. Can't go wrong, really, can you? Okay, well, that's it really. I just wanted to go past where I used to live on Moorland Road. So I'll turn around, retrace my steps, and I'm going to head to the seafront now. That used to be a hospital there as well. The hospital's long gone and I don't know what it's used for now, but certainly there's new flats around it. Lovely. I should have a flat there because the seafront is just there, so you get fantastic views over the beach. Could feel the wind here, flipping heck. Oh, I can remember that actually when I used to live in Weston. When I used to walk from Moorland Road to where I worked, closer to the town, I sometimes used to walk along the seafront because it was a very pleasant commute, as you can imagine. Yeah, when it was windy like today, flipping heck, all the dry sand would blow up into your face. Oh, it's great. Love it. Sort of brings back memories now. I'm about 2 or 3 minutes walk from my old flat on Moorland Road, so it was lovely being so close to the seafront. But yeah, it was a nice flat, but God, during the colder months, it was freezing in that flat. Yeah, that flat had no central heating. There was just an open fireplace in my flat, but there was one of those portable colour gas fires there, so I used to use that a lot. So I don't know how my landlord below used to cope, because I don't know if he had a fire. But yeah, it was there was no central heating there at all. And I remember it was that cold during the colder months. If people used to come and visit me, I actually used to feel quite embarrassed because it was so cold. I mean, there were a few that sort of stayed overnight and it was freezing for them. So yeah, I tried to discourage people to come and stay after that because yeah, it wasn't good. To say it was a lovely flat, but as long as you stayed in the summer months, it was fine. I mean, I don't think that flat would have been registered through the landlords. So, to say it was just a guy who lived downstairs and wanted somebody living upstairs. Nowadays, if it was properly registered, they'd have to, by law, have central heating there, I guess. The tide is right out there somewhere, so again, it's more sand and mud that you can see on the beach today. That's not unusual for Weston. But yeah, right over there, that's where I was on my last walk, so you can see Burnbeck Pier in the background, Wilbury Hill and Weston Woods up there, and then you can see the Grand Pier in front. Anyway, I'm just making my way back to Uphill along the beach. So actually, incidentally, when I lived in Moorland Road, that was just inside Uphill Ward. Although I wasn't living in Uphill Village, the actual, as wards go, Moorland Road was just inside Uphill Ward. Walking beside the River Axe now. So the River Axe flows into the Bristol Channel just down there by Breen Down. So here, the River Axe is the county boundary between North Somerset on this side and Somerset on that side. Although people still call North Somerset Somerset because historically North Somerset was part of Somerset anyway. So yeah, so I'm just going to follow the River Axe for a little while as I start to head inland more. Heading beside the River Axe for a while, and then I'm going to loop round and head back into Uphill Village. But flipping heck. I love walking beside the beach at Weston, don't get me wrong, but when it's windy like this, get all that dry sand blowing into your face. It's a bit unpleasant. I can actually feel bits of sand stuck to my teeth. And I think this sand stuck to my face too. Of course, I put suntan cream on before I started the walk, so all the sand that's blown into my face will be sticking onto it. That'd be great fun when I have a shower later, won't it? I'll have a shower later and the bottom of the shower will be full of sand. Well, I'm slightly doubling back now as I head back towards Uphill Village. I'm hoping that it'll be a bit less windy. Whoa. So, just approaching the road again in Uphill Village, and I walk around the other side of the marina. Turning right to leave the road again, I walked through the boatyard entrance towards the local nature reserve. Welcome to Uphill Hill Local Nature Reserve. Uphill Down is covered with flower-rich grassland which supports many insects, particularly butterflies. The reserve is designated a site of special scientific interest and special area of conservation because the grassland found here is of international importance. And there's Uphill Marina just there. Lovely. Lots of people out this morning. Despite the wind, it's still a lovely morning. So yeah, see what is popular here. So, at the end of March 1996, I moved away from Bristol. That was when I was living in Ashton Gate. And I moved here to Weston, to my flat in Moorland Road. And it was definitely the best thing I did because I've said in my last film, moving to Weston was a way of getting me out of a rut because I've been working for Avon County Council since 1984, and by 1996, when Avon was abolished, I'd been working in the same job for nearly 8 years, and it was very much a dead-end job. Now, had I opted to remain with Bristol City Council, which was one of the new Unitary authorities after Avon was being abolished, I would have stayed in the same post because the actual post I was working in was based in the same building as it was when it was Avon County Council. So I opted to come to North Somerset Council because I thought that would get me out of that rut to do a completely different job, and I definitely made the right decision by doing that. So yeah, so I moved to Weston at the end of March 1996, and then I started my new job in North Somerset 2 days later. Right, so I'm starting to curve around again. So I'm starting to curve around as I head back in that direction again. So yeah, very much a zigzaggy walk today really, but very enjoyable, lovely walk. Still windy, but at least I'm away from the seafront now, so I'm not getting sand blown in my face. So I moved to my new flat in Moorland Road in Weston on the Saturday, and the following Monday I started my new job in the new North Somerset Council. And what an eye-opener it was. On my first day, I found that I was working with some really lovely people actually, some of the nicest people I've ever worked with. But the job itself, oh my God, I actually thought on that first day, what have I done? Have I made a mistake here? It was horrible. Yeah, it really opened my eyes because the job, without going into detail, I was working on a reception desk. I've done reception desks before, but this was a reception desk in a particular department. So that particular department, you were dealing with certain types of clients coming in. And most of the clients, not all of them, but most of them to be fair, were stroppy, angry, some of them could be abusive. It was horrible. So you always felt like you felt under threat in your own job really. Yeah, it wasn't nice at all. So I found after a while that although I had a lovely flat here in Weston, in my own time when I was walking around Weston, I felt like I was looking over my shoulder a bit, because working on reception, people remember your face because you are representing the council, you are the face of the council. So, you know, if I'm seen in the street, people will say, oh, there's that guy who works for North Somerset Council. Even though I wasn't doing anything wrong, it's just the sort of clientele that you were getting in that department. So yeah, I felt very uncomfortable for a while. But yeah, apart from the job itself, I work with some of the nicest people ever, I have to say. So I think if the people weren't nice, it really would have been an awful place to work. Okay, I think these are some of the highlights of today's walk now. So this tower, or folly, whatever you want to call it, it's the remains of an old windmill. Can't get inside, sadly. I don't know whether it does open, but climb up those stairs to the top. I bet it's windy up there. Oh well, I'll have a little walk around it anyway. Yeah. Certainly in a very exposed position. Lovely. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll walk down to the church now then. Okay, second church of the day then. I wonder if I'll get in this one too. No, it's closed today, sadly. Oh well. So this is St Nicholas Old Church at Uphill. This church is cared for by the Church's Conservation Trust. Although no longer needed for regular worship, it remains a consecrated building, a part of England's history, maintained for the benefit of this and future generations. The church is usually open to visitors from Whit Sunday until the 30th of September. Oh well. Well, you get a nice view from up here. There's Breen Down again, and of course Breen Down is the start of the Mendip Hills, and then the Mendip Hills continue here on Uphill Hill, and then they carry on from Bleeden Hill and beyond. So hopefully at some point before too long, I hope to explore more of the Mendip Hills. Yeah, anyway, so there's another view of Weston over there. You can see Weston Bay and you can see Burnbeck Pier in the background. Lovely. Okay, well, I'm going to start making my way back down into Uphill Village now then. Whoops. Right. A nice steep descent back into Uphill now then. Lovely. What a place to end my walk on. Absolutely fantastic. Well, the job that I did in North Somerset Council, working in that reception area, I was there for 18 months. Although I didn't enjoy the work, as I say, the people were lovely and I made some really good friends when I was working there. But I managed to get another job in North Somerset Council a bit later on, after 18 months. And that was a promotional job. It was behind the scenes, so no frontline work, so that was good. However, because of the job that I had done originally in North Somerset Council, my face was still recognised. And unfortunately, even though there was nothing I did wrong, you are seen as the face of the council, and because of the type of clientele that came into that reception, it was, say, all angry people. Whether you did right or wrong, you know, they saw you as the enemy, and I didn't enjoy that. And that sort of made my living in Weston a little bit uncomfortable, really. So it was good to get that other job later on in North Somerset Council. But I was in that job for probably 2 years. And then I decided to move back to Bristol. I found another promotional job within Bristol City Council, and that's why I ended up leaving Weston and moving to Bristol. That's when I lived in Southville. So, yeah, I mean, I think if it hadn't been for that original job in North Somerset Council, I'd have really enjoyed stopping to live in Weston, because I did enjoy it here. In the summer, it was lovely being able to walk along the seafront, and at night time, because I made some good friends here, we went to some of the seafront bars, and yeah, it was lovely. So I would have been quite happy to have stayed in Weston if it wasn't for that job, really. But there you go, one of those things. So yeah, as I say, after 3.5 years overall of working in North Somerset Council, I got a new job in Bristol City Council, which was another promotional job, and that's why I ended up moving back to Bristol, and I lived in Southville. So the rest is history, as they say. Right. Oh, wasn't too bad. I didn't have to breathe in too much for that one. Okay, well, I'm back in Uphill Village now, and I'm just beside the Dolphin pub where I started my walk. So that's it. Another lovely walk, only a short one today. Probably just over 4 miles, I think it was. Okay, well, I'm going to walk back to my car now, which is just along there, and I'm going to drive back to Mum's, and Mum doesn't live very far away. So, yeah, okay, until the next walk then.